Okay, so we have all our folks here. So what it is today being Tuesday, April 11th, 2 p.m. We'll be beginning today's Committee of Ways and Means. And just again, for all of you, a Zoom call would require us a roll call for each vote. So with that, a roll call, please, to open up today's meeting, Clerk Semino.
Councillor Reynolds,
Here?
Councillor Flaherty,
Here.
Councillor Maglio,
Here.
all present.
Okay, thank you. All right, I trust that the committee members have had an opportunity to read the minutes of November 9th, 2022. Okay, and is there a motion to approve those minutes of November 9th, 2022?
So moved. Second.
Okay, roll call.
Councillor Reynolds,
Aye.
Councillor Flaherty,
Aye.
Councillor Maglio,
Aye.
3 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. There is no old business for us to cover on today's agenda, so we'll move right into the new agenda items. And first up is 23-023, Mayor appointment of Margaret LaForest to Chief of Staff or take up any action relative thereto. And I'd like to offer the mayor opportunity to open up today's hearing.
Thank you, Chairman and members. I'm pleased to announce that I've chosen Margaret LaForest to be my Chief of Staff. It's important to look at the great qualifications that she brings to the job. She has a tremendous amount of experience in government, has served as a counselor, understands budgeting, has a lot of strength in budgeting, as well as her overall experience with economic development, which is something that we really need here in Braintree. So I think that, based on her many strengths that she brings to the job, she would be the perfect candidate to be our next Chief of Staff. And I just wanted to add that in addition to all of her experience in municipal government and state government, she also is part of president of Rotary and runs a nonprofit that just happens to involve a ship over there in North Braintree, as we'll call it. But when in looking at someone to replace my Chief of Staff, I wanted to make sure that I had someone that could hit the ground running, and I think that I have found that in Margaret LaForest, and I would ask for your favorable recommendation to the full council. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We appreciate that and welcome Margaret to today's hearing. We look forward. All right, great. We look forward to hearing you tell us a little bit about yourself. Before I take any questions, is there anything that you would like to make as far as a statement?
Well, thank you for the opportunity, Councilor Reynolds. I think, and to the mayor, this is really an unexpected opportunity and something that really perked my interest because, as many of you know, I served 8 years in the Quincy City Council. I was a district councilor, ward councilor, as we would call it. My Ward 1 neighborhood, I think if you looked at it and laid it over Braintree, you would see it to be very similar. It was comprised of very strong residential neighborhoods with commercial corridors in the upper end of the district. I really pride myself on connectivity with constituents, answering and responsiveness and communications. So I really understand for each of you as counselors what your needs are from the mayor's chief of staff in that lens. And then as being part of the governor and lieutenant governor's executive team for economic development, have a lot of experience working with municipalities. To the mayor's point about what the needs are here for Braintree, I have much to learn, and I really had reached out to each of you and had that great conversation with you, Councilor Reynolds, last week, and yesterday with briefly with Councilor Flaherty, Councilor Maglio. My apologies, we didn't get to. I left a voicemail for you, but I really do want to connect with each counselor, understand your ward or the city from your perspective, and see how I can be of value in what your needs are, and to make sure that as you're the mayor's liaison to the council, that you have what you need from our office.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, so as we normally do, we'll open up with questions or comments from the members of the committee, and we'll start with Councilor Flaherty.
Thank you. I don't have any questions. I'm pleased to welcome Ms. LaForest into this position. I think she has a good background, as you know, from a number of different angles, including her experience as a counselor. And I have met her, and I think she has a helpful attitude, and she is quite knowledgeable, and you know, and she's a good listener. So I appreciate those qualities. I think that it's going to be a successful. I wish her great success, and I fully think that she will be. So she will have my support today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Flaherty. Councilor Maglio.
Thank you. So I have a quick question just for purpose of information. Have you already started your position?
So yesterday was my first day here in the office. The position is active as the interim chief of staff until the council's approval has been granted, assuming the council approval gets granted.
Okay. So that's interesting. Okay. So I did not know that you reached out to me. I didn't get that message. So I would love to have a conversation with you. We had a conversation back in after what was it? A vote in March, I believe, of 2022, shortly after I started, when it had to do with the TIF at Wood Road. That's still something that marks my experience in joining the council. And so I would very much like to have a conversation with you and to talk through that a little bit more. We did talk then, but I'm always open to talking more. And so for that reason, I'm going to just turn it right back over to Councilor Reynolds, and I'll reach out to you, Margaret, when after this meeting, I guess.
Sure, at your convenience, I left you on your office line my personal cell phone. I am not yet set up within the internal system on email, phone, and things, but Councilor Maglio, I should let you know I am your cross-water neighbor. So a lot of your concerns are also areas that I'm pretty in tune to.
Yeah. Good. Great.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Maglio. So, Margaret, I know you and I have had an opportunity to know each other for a few years now. Once serving in this very similar role, that we had an opportunity to talk a little bit in your prior role working with the executive branch of the state government. And I found our experiences to be positive. I do appreciate your role in bringing to Braintree the Integra Life Science Initiative and working with the mayor for the TIF, which was a very big step for our community. And as the mayor had mentioned in his opening remarks, economic development is a very important topic and a need for our community right now. And looking at your experiences, I am definitely heartened by the breadth of your experiences. And in particular, you had mentioned, or as the mayor had mentioned, you have a lot of experience in budgetary aspects. And, you know, we are facing, we're coming up on the new budget season, just have completed supplemental number 1, made our recommendations yesterday for approval of the mayor's capital plan. And you are going to be drinking from a fire hose, I think, because it's a very short ramp for you to really get oriented here. And but I have confidence that you will be able to do that. And similar to your offer of access and collaboration, I too, and I know the members of the board of the council offer that in return as well. As this committee plays a very integral part in that process. And we work very closely with your office and with the mayor. So we look forward to that. You know, what you had demonstrated to me in the past, your ability to assess, your creativity will be needed here. Your facilitation skills will be very important to us making quick progress and understandings and coming to understandings. And then, of course, the execution, the carrying out of all of that You play a very big role in that as not only the chief of staff, but also as the director of operations. You are essentially, on behalf of the mayor, running the community on a day-to-day operational basis. So I'll just pause if you have any commentary.
Oh, no, I have, listen, the mayor's, we've hit the ground running. We have the budget binder and community response emergency management plan here at the ready. I've had chatted with Ed Spellman and starting to really, understand how I can be of value here. So I think what I have quickly surmised, and those have been able to meet, whether it's for the first time or start with some interactions with Kate, is what an amazing team of dedicated personnel you have in the town of Braintree. And honestly, that was truly what sold me the minute I walked in with the mayor. When Nicole asked me to come in, I was like, Nicole, I thank you, it's flattering, but I'm really not interested. And the second I walked into town hall and met your team and the energy and sat with the mayor, it was a pretty quick pivot to me of like, you know what, this is a real interesting professional opportunity, and I'm very excited to be working in the town of Braintree.
Great. Well, we're very happy that your level of enthusiasm, very much so. Ed Spellman is a terrific. He's got to be one of the best in the business, and I think the mayor obviously feels the same about Ed Spellman.
I hear he's the go-to from other communities, right? If you don't know, call Spellman. It's great.
Exactly right. He's a tremendous asset to the administration and to our town. You will find that our committee, just to kind of in the spirit of setting expectations, we welcome this future relationship as we move forward. Setting expectations, you will find that and the mayor will surely, I'm sure, endorse this. We are a very due diligent committee. We ask a lot of questions, and we request a lot of information, and not just for the sake of asking for information, but certainly to seek our better understanding and to work along with the administration as the decisions that the mayor needs to make in his role as a oversight, if you will, or as a partner in government. You will find that there's a lot of communications between us. Your accessibility will be greatly appreciated in all of that. I did just want to touch on one last thing here, which is a particular interest to me, is your involvement with Historic New England. Right. There are a number of here in Braintree, we take great pride in our history. After all, communities around us wouldn't be without Braintree. And we know we like to kid a little bit with the city of Quincy, but it all started here in Braintree. That's all I'll say. So
yeah, I think they're looking at the trade, they're trying to see what they're going to get in trade value for you bringing me on board.
All right, sounds good.
Yes.
But we have a great historical commission committee, and we have a really hardworking, really attentive, good historical society as well. Right across the street, your new office is smack dab in the middle of Braintree's historic district.
Well, Councilor, you may actually remember this, but Mayor Koukouras and I just yesterday spent some time talking about Braintree Historic Society. And back in the era of Mayor Sullivan, when I was at the Quincy Chamber, Vice President of the Quincy Chamber and running their tourism agency, I had come over and was promptly brought to the town clerk's office and shown the birth certificates of the two Adams presidents. And I know that they are gentlemen from Braintree and say it proudly. But right. I spent some time because for Quincy promoting tourism, we're looking at what the other assets were, right? Because we're all part of the same story. And yes. So Quincy, Milton, Braintree, Weymouth, right, they didn't have funded tourism positions. We were really trying to grow the promotion of our community cultural resource assets. And so I partnered with Braintree, and by partnered, I said to the mayor, hey, can you introduce me to whoever's over there? I'm going to help promote you, and we're not going to charge you anything. I'm going after some grant funds that will in town, in kind support Braintree. And for example, in our 50 Days of Freedom, we promoted the Greek festival that you have. We promoted the Historic Society. We promoted things at the Curtain Call Theater. So, I think there's really great opportunity. I particularly have a passion for history. when I was in high school for extra credit, because I'm such a nerd, one of our teachers volunteered for Spinaeas, which has become Historic New England. And I gave tours to the Josiah Quincy house, and I stood in the dining room and told you all about it as you cycled through for the holiday tour. And I ended up working for them for years. I'll tell you that I was 12 when, I'll tell you the story some other time, but when I pitched the idea to then newly elected Mayor Sheets that the city of Quincy should go get a Navy ship that was built here to be a museum. And so my first quest in government was convincing the likes of Mayor Sheets in the city council at the time that this was a great idea. And by the time I was a sophomore in college, Mayor Sheets mails me a plane ticket. And I'm like, hey kid, your boat's here. So life out of elected office, I thought I might free some time up and got really delved back involved and spent some time volunteering and managing the museum with volunteers. So your cultural resources will find a very strong advocate with me.
That sounds wonderful. That is a really great story. Thank you for sharing that with us.
So in the
Okay.
spirit of
Yes,
being mindful of our time, I'd like to make a motion for favorable recommendation to the full council.
floor is
Motion.
yours.
Thank you. Upon the request of His Honor, the Mayor of the Town of Braintree through the Braintree Town Council, and in accordance with Section 3.3 of the Charter of the Town of Braintree, approves the appointment of Margaret LaForest to Chief of Staff. So moved.
I will second that.
I think you're muted. But I know what you said. Aye.
Council Reynolds, yes, thank you. Council Flaherty,
Aye.
Council Maglio,
Abstain.
2 in favor, 1 abstain.
Okay. Well, Margaret, thank you. And Mayor Kokoris, thank you today for bringing Margaret here. And we're looking forward to seeing you next Tuesday evening, Margaret.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Second on our agenda today is the motion 23024 mayor appointment, Michael Guerrero to the Braintree Housing Authority to take up any action relative thereto. So Mayor Kokoris, the floor is yours.
Yes, this is an appointment of a resident in the Housing Authority. And there were a couple applicants, and he was one that we chose, and I think he'll do a great job. And took us a while to get his resume to you, but we finally did, and would ask for your support.
Thank you very much, Mayor, on that. So I'd like to give the opportunity then to Council Flaherty for the first questions or comments.
No, I have no questions or comments. I'm happy to support this.
Thank you. Councilor Maglio.
Did you say that he is a tenant member of the Housing Authority?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. I just wanted to clarify that. Yep, I'm all set. Thank you.
Okay. I don't have any questions at this point. I do see that he lives up in Braintree Housing in the Highlands. It's a nice facility up there. So to have somebody in-house as a resident, I think is a good idea. And I'd look forward to supporting Mr. Guerrero. So that is all that I have right now.
Great.
So
Then I'd like to make a motion for favorable recommendation to the full council. Motion upon the request of His Honor, the Mayor of the Town of Braintree, through the Braintree Town Council, and in accordance with Section 3.3 of the Charter of the Town of Braintree, approves the appointment of Michael Guerrero to the Braintree Housing Authority. So moved.
Second.
Council Reynolds,
aye.
Council Flaherty,
Aye.
Council Maglio.
Aye.
That's 3 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you very much. Okay, that does it for our business, new business. And is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Council Reynolds,
Aye.
Council Flaherty,
Aye.
Council Maglio.
Aye.
3 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Margaret. Looking forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks, guys. See you soon. Bye.
Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Is it next week, Joe?